Let's talk about how to help your clients go deeper when they word vomit information out to you. This is particularly common, especially if you have more of the analytical, conscious type clients, very logical. How do you get them to go quote unquote deeper? Now, having said that, the depth of your hypnosis or your NLP or whatever methodology you're using has nothing to do with their results and how they solve their problems. Your client will go as deep or as shallow as they need in order for them to resolve their problem on their own. And there is no gauge or correlation between the depth of trance, if that's what you're doing, to the actual results. I've had very high level conscious clients who eyes open the whole entire time, but have had mind blowing results. So, the first thing that you actually want to focus on is not the depth or what it looks like in your client, but the actual transformation that is happening in front of you. Major, major, major difference. And so, if you keep on focusing on, I just need to get my clients deeper, you're potentially going through or going to lead the session in a way that is not applicable for that client. I just spit out everywhere for some reason. So depth has no correlation between your results. How you test the client afterwards and how they perceive the problem afterwards is the sign that your session is working. That is just something that I want to just put out there. So if you have a client and say they came to you with insomnia, they're battling some sleep problems, and they go, I have trouble sleeping, and they just go, blah, 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 blah. I've tried all of these things. I've tried the valerian root. I've tried the melatonin. I've tried blue light blocking glasses, blah, 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 but it's still not working. And they are going through all of this word vomiting information, right? And there's so much going on. They've just like word vomited all this information for you. And it feels like, oh my fucking goodness, I am overwhelmed. Here is what you actually want to do. You want to set up a filtration system in your mind with regards to conscious versus unconscious information. Now, this is a skill set, and you need the actual strategy of how to do this, plus the experience, plus the support. But you can start this today. So, based on what you've learned, what is conscious versus unconscious information? So, when you want your results to be faster and you want your clients to resolve their issues faster, we know that the real information is unconscious to them at this present moment, right? Because if it was conscious, then they would not no longer be stuck and then will start resolving their problems on their own. So the actual solution or the real root of the problem is still unconscious to them when they come to you. So it is your job to make something your job is to make something unconscious to be conscious so that they change their perspective and rewire their patterns. And so the fastest way you can do that is to focus their attention on unconscious information. And so again, what is that to you? What have you learned? And I'll give you an example. For example, this insomnia client is just saying and expressing their things and their problem with insomnia as, I just can't seem to turn off. That is a metaphorical aspect, right? That is a very unusual way to describe a problem. And so if you ask your client about not being able to turn off, you're more likely to get into that root cause faster. So that is what you want to do in your session. Like maybe for, 30 seconds to a minute, your client is going to word vomit all of that information, and 95 to 98% of what comes out of their mouth is useless. Okay. Useless in terms of what to actually focus on to get to the root. So you really want to pay the fuck attention to your client, because that is when you'll hear the 2 to 5% that is golden, right? A client will say blah 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 blah. I just feel like I won't turn off, blah 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 blah. That not being able to turn off could be and highly likely will be the key to helping you go deeper into your session. Deeper meaning a deeper, more profound result that will actually change how their problem is moving forward and or completely eliminate that. And so you really want to listen to this. There are a lot of visual cues and auditory cues and somatic cues with regards to this, right? We're always communicating both conscious and unconscious, verbally and non-verbally. Verbal is only a small piece of our communication, right? It's not what we say, it's how we say it, the in-betweens. So if you focus on the in-betweens, which is exactly what I ask my students and teach my students and train my students to get better at, is to really start looking at the nonverbal aspects of communication with their clients, aka unconscious type of information. That is how they get the results fast. That is how they have long-term sustainable results, because they focus on the unconscious information, things that not many people are good at developing, because we're not taught that, right? Traditionally, we are taught the scripts. We are taught, okay, if your client has insomnia, you got to relax them, blah, 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 right? We're already assuming what we're going to do inside a session instead of just paying attention to the client in front of us, which is quite unfortunate. But when you actually start to deliver in this way, you'll find such a dramatically more fulfilling and actually quite simple process that is a lot more power. There's a lot of power in simplicity and rawness, right? When, we can see someone's beauty with just the minimal makeup, right? And so it's the same thing for your clients. Adding more shit into your sessions is not going to make them deeper or have them have a more stronger transformation. It is by cutting through all the bullshit and really just focus on these little moments. Because if me, for example, I am a highly analytical client, I am one of these logical clients that traditional therapies don't work with, because I am very stubborn and very unique in that way. But if I word vomit, and I will word vomit information to you, that's how I process as well, like auditory. If, like, when I word vomit a full minute of just like saying things about my problem, and you pick up the smallest fucking thing, not only will I trust you and think you are the shit, but you will help me get into a transformation that is so profoundly deep that it will change my life because of that one very small thing that you paid attention to. Because my unconscious mind just sneakily just like gave you a hint and you grab that shit. That will make me unconsciously trust you, which will break that wall, that defensiveness, and I will be more likely to give you information if you actually fucking listen to me and not just told me to close my eyes and relax my whole body. That is temporary, that can help, but that won't help me to see why the hell I am having trouble sleeping, right? It's the same for any other symptom that your client gives you. If you just paid attention to the little moments instead of getting lost in the minutia of what do I ask, what do I say, what metaphor should I use, all useless things, and instead focus on the very, 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 very main foundation of what makes a therapeutic interaction, which is pay attention to the person in front of you. That in and of itself can create results that are more sustainable than someone who has spent hours researching about their client but not paying attention to them. And so this is how you would help your clients to stop word vomiting. Because like I said, again, if your client just for a minute gave you that information, gave you conscious information, and you picked up on that one small thing that they didn't even realize they said, you feed it back to them and ask them about it, they go, what? Did I just say that? What did I mean by that? And off they go, right? Off they go into the transformation, which is a lot more powerful. So as I mentioned, this is a skill set that will make sense only if you have the demos right in front of you. And so if you'd like to see this in action, comment below demo, and I will give you a demonstration of what this looks like to really help your understanding of it even better. If you're someone who doesn't like to fuck around and you're ready for next level results, and you know that this is the skill that is key to transforming and starting now, if you want to stand out, you get to start right now, right? Because you know how important action is. then join us in the NeuroSync community. If you want more information on that, comment below or DM me NeuroSync, and we can get you started today in developing the skill, because you know what they say in neuroplasticity: use it or lose it, use it or improve it. If you don't do anything now, it's just going to take a very, very long time for you to finally create the results that you're absolutely proud of with your clients. So I hope this helped, and I will see you around.